In the previous lessons, Josh and Arobindo explored the growth of a beanstalk whose height triples each day. They found an equation that gave the height of the beanstalk on any day and represented this growth on a timeline, which shows the height of the beanstalk at various times. In this lesson, they will use their equation and the timeline to find the height of their beanstalk at times between day 0 and day 1, such as on day 1/2. To gain insight into how the beanstalk is growing, they first review the factors by which the height increases over several time periods and mark these in on their number line.
Can you rewrite in all the relationships that you had found in our previous lessons?
All right.
And then can you remind me what all those things represent?
So the times 3 is basically the growth rate. So it is growing 3 times taller per day. And the plus 1 is each day a day is passing.
Okay. What about other relationships, other mathematical, other multiplicative relationships or other additive relationships? Do you mark in anything else?
Well, from the beginning to the end of our timeline, it's plus 5. So 5 days have passed. And for the height, it's times 243, yeah.
And then how do you know it's times 243?
Because you can just do 243 divided by 1.
Okay. Can the times 3 help you figure out that it was 243 in any way?
Yeah, you can do 1 times 3 and then do times 3 and times 3 and you do it 5 times.
Mm-hmm. What about a times 9 relationship? Can you find a times 9 relationship anywhere? Okay. And what's the corresponding relationship among the days?
So the corresponding relationship among the days would be plus 2.
So, Josh, over 2 days, what is happening with the height?
The growth rate is 9.
What do you mean by the growth rate is 9?
It increases by 9.
Like it increases by 9 centimeters?
Like, it grows 9 times.
So it's 9 times taller if we're comparing day 0 to day 2.
Yeah.
What about other 2-day spans? How does it grow over other 2-day spans?
It grows 9 times taller still.
Mm-hmm. Can you mark in another 2-day span where you're seeing it grow 9 times taller?
From day 2 to day 4. That's 2. And that is... Oh my. Where should I label it? I'll label it right here. Times 2. Alright, times 9. Wow!
Okay, so from day 2 to day 4, 2 days have passed and it grows by a factor of 9.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, do you think that over any 2-day period it will grow by a factor of 9?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's multiplying by 3 and on the first day of change, and then the second day it also goes by 3, so that's 3 groups of 3, groups of 1.
Uh-huh. So it will grow by a factor of 3, and then it will grow by a factor of 3 again. So you have 3 groups of 3. Of what?
1.
Of 1 what?
1 centimeter.
1 centimeter. What about when it's growing from day 2 to day 4?
It's
3 groups of 3 groups of 9.
3 groups of 3 groups of 9.
Centimeters.
Okay. And in general, over the 2 days, over any 2 days, it will be 3 groups of 3 groups of what?
the starting height on that day.
The starting height on that day.
Josh and Arobindo explored the relationships between a number of different beanstalk heights and the number of days that had passed. They determined that the beanstalk height increased by a factor of 243 over 5 days, and by a factor of 9 over 2 days. The students also recognized that the beanstalk height would grow by a factor of 9 over any 2-day period, and that the final height, 2 days later, would be 3 groups of the starting height on the day they started on. In the next episode, they will use what they know about the growth of the beanstalk to determine the height on day 1/2.